Before we continue, here's a quick recap. The Belfast and County Down Railway had grown from an ambitious idea into one of the most important transport projects in Ireland. From the opening of the Belfast to Comber line in 1850, the railway expanded south through County Down until it finally reached the historic market town of Downpatrick. But the directors of the railway company had no intention of stopping there. If you've missed any part of the journey so far, be sure to check out the previous episodes. New episodes are released every Wednesday and Saturday as we uncover the complete history of the Belfast and County Down Railway. Now, our journey continues. Standing on the harbor wall at Ardglass today, it's difficult to imagine the noise and activity that once filled this small fishing port. Fishing boats arrived daily with their catches. Merchants loaded carts with barrels, crates, and supplies. Horses pulled wagons through narrow streets while ships arrived carrying goods from across the Irish Sea. Although small in size, Ardglass was one of County Down's oldest and most important harbours. Its history stretched back hundreds of years. For generations, the sea had been the town's livelihood. But by the middle of the 19th century, there was one growing problem. The harbour could land fish, it could receive coal, it could import goods. But getting those goods inland remained slow. Every barrel of fish destined for Belfast had to begin its journey by horse and cart. Every delivery of coal traveled over rough country roads before finally reaching local merchants. Time was money. Fresh fish could lose much of its value if delayed. The Belfast and County Down Railway recognized an opportunity. If the harbour could be connected directly to Downpatrick, Ardglass would no longer feel isolated. Instead, it would become part of a growing railway network linking the coast with Belfast. For the directors of the railway company, it was a logical next step. Construction of the Ardglass Branch began soon after the railway reached Downpatrick, creating a line of just under 10 miles that would forever change the town's connection with the rest of County Down. Unlike the busy main line to Belfast, this branch had a different purpose. It wasn't simply about moving passengers. It was designed to serve industry. Every morning, fish landed in Ardglass Harbour could be loaded into railway wagons before beginning the journey north. By the afternoon, those same catches could be on sale in Belfast. For Victorian traders, this was revolutionary. The railway didn't make the fish any better. It made them arrive fresher. That alone increased their value. Coal traffic also became increasingly important. Steam locomotives delivered wagon after wagon of coal into Ardglass, helping fuel homes, businesses, and workshops that had once relied on much slower deliveries. The railway was becoming the town's supply line. Passenger services soon followed. For the first time, local people could travel between Ardglass, Downpatrick, and Belfast with far greater speed and comfort than ever before. A journey that had once taken much of the day could now be completed in only a fraction of the time. Visitors also began arriving more regularly. While Ardglass never developed into a major tourist resort like Newcastle, the railway opened the town to people who might never otherwise have visited. For businesses, every new arrival represented opportunity. Hotels welcomed guests. Public houses became busier. Shops expanded their trade. The railway wasn't simply carrying people. It was bringing new customers. The stations along the branch reflected the communities they served. Unlike the larger stations found closer to Belfast, these were practical working stations built around local needs. Goods sheds stood beside the line. Coal merchants established depots. Livestock loading banks served nearby farms. Everything was designed to keep freight moving efficiently. Steam trains became part of everyday life. Children recognized the sound of the whistle long before the locomotive appeared. Farmers planned deliveries around the timetable. Station staff knew many passengers by name. For the people of Ardglass, the railway quickly became as familiar as the harbour itself. Did you know? If you've ever driven through County Down and wondered why a perfectly straight tree-lined path cuts across open fields, or why an old stone bridge seems to lead nowhere, there's a good chance you're looking at part of the old Belfast and County Down Railway. Even today, many embankments, bridges, and cuttings from the Ardglass Branch can still be found hidden across the countryside. If you've discovered part of the old railway near you, leave us a comment below. We'd love to know where you found these fascinating reminders of County Down's railway past. Although the Ardglass Branch was never the busiest part of the Belfast and County Down Railway, it achieved exactly what it had been built to do. It connected a historic fishing port with the county's growing railway network. It supported local businesses. It carried freight that once struggled to reach inland markets. And it gave the people of Ardglass faster, easier access to the rest of County Down. For decades, the familiar sight of a steam locomotive arriving beside the harbor became an ordinary part of life. Yet while the Ardglass Branch quietly served its coastal community, another destination was beginning to capture the imagination of both the railway company and the traveling public. Southwest of Downpatrick, beneath the dramatic peaks of the Mourne Mountains, lay a seaside town whose popularity was growing year after year. Families wanted holidays. Day trippers wanted sea air. Businesses saw opportunity. The Belfast and County Down Railway saw something even bigger, a chance to build what would become its most famous railway line. In our next episode, we'll leave the fishing boats of Ardglass behind and follow the railway towards Newcastle, discovering how steam transformed a quiet seaside town into one of Ireland's greatest Victorian holiday destinations. If you've enjoyed this episode, please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and join us every Wednesday and Saturday as we continue uncovering the complete history of the Belfast and County Down Railway. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next chapter of the Lost Railways of County Down.